for football. Two undefeated teams. Wayne Hills ranked number 15 in the state, and Mainland ranked number 18. Scott, what can you tell us about these two teams?
Should be a great game. Mainland Regional, even though they traveled a long way, think this is their hometown. They ran around in the field saying this is our field today. So Wayne Hills has to defend their turf.
Joining me tonight, once again, is Lou Germanario. Lou, solid performance in the first game, back for another. What do you have to say about Mainland?
Well, Mike, of course I'm back by popular demand, but what I see here tonight is Wayne Hills' first real test of the season. I mean, this is a team that I've been told that competes way above the ranks of Indian Hills and other local teams, so we're in for something tonight.
We sure are, Lou. So right now the captains are taking the coin toss. Scott, what are your three keys for today's game?
Mainland Regional needs to run the football. They have a great running back by the name of Brandon Hargross, who has 264 yards through 2 weeks of the season. He needs to control the ground game for Mainland, and Wayne Hills has to try to limit his yards. Turnovers will also be key, as Wayne Hills has yet to give up a point all season, forces many turnovers, and Mainland Regional has to hold off on them. And finally, Mainland Regional needs to get off to a quick start here, traveling into Wayne Hills. If Wayne Hills gets a big early lead, this game could be over.
So after a 56-0 thrashing 2 weeks ago against Indian Hills, last week Wayne Hills won 27-0, surprisingly close in that game over Northern Highlands. Northern Highlands gave him a good game, but Brendan Monahan had a huge interception in the third quarter, and then a 29-yard run after. Adamo took it in for a touchdown, break it open, 21-0, and they pretty much cruised on from there. And their defense has just been outstanding this year. Lou, what are your three keys for today's game?
My three keys are always my same three keys, Mike. Play hard the whole entire way through. It's important, like a good team like the Patriots, they get a good lead, they can't stop slacking in the second half. They got to bring it from the first quarter to the last second of the game, and that's the key to winning the game.
So right now we're getting ready for the kickoff. Andrew Bucci will be kicking off for the Patriots. Tough first game of the season for Andrew Bucci kicking off. Kicked a few out of bounds, a couple of short ones, but they're staying with him. And there goes a short kick once again. And it's going to be taken by Mainland at the 23-yard line. And he's taken down by Joe Giampapa at the 27.
Great coverage by Wayne Hills, as Mainland Regional will start off at around the 25-yard line. Good kick to keep it in bounds this time, and that is why Mainland doesn't have good field position.
Correction, the 27-yard line.
So it will be 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line for the Mustangs. And they run it inside, and it's going to be a loss of one. Big hit right there from David Adamo.
Huge crunch by Adamo. Always want to set the tone in every game that the Patriots play. If he keeps it up, this looks like an easy slide for the Hills team to pick up another one in the column.
So it'll be 2nd and 11 for Mainland on their own 26-yard line. Brandon Hargross, big running back for Mainland Mustangs, should be getting the ball a lot in tonight's game. And the handoff goes to Hargross inside, and he's brought down for no gain. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Number 30, John Impagliazzo, came around, threw his hands in the air, tried to fake a reverse, but Wayne Hills did not fall for it, and a short pickup, maybe a yard.
So it'll be 3rd and 10 for the Mustangs. Mustangs are led by Dan Capilouti, their quarterback. Had a solid game last week, threw for a couple of touchdowns, and they won 21-0. The pitch goes outside to number 30, and he's taken down for a huge loss by number 4, Greg Olson.
Biggles showing his size and strength on that play, just strangling the running back. I mean, it's a joke, guys.
Loss of another 4 yards.
So John Impagliazzo taken down for a huge loss by Greg Olson. Auspicious start for the Patriots.
A little surprised with the calling there. They let their star quarterback, Dan Capelliuti, not throw a pass on the drive, and a little conservative as the punt is off. And a good punt back to Lynn, who has returning room and a big run back before hit hard.
There's Lynn on the punt return.
And he gets hit hard at the 45-yard line of the Mustangs, and that's where Wayne Hills will take over. That was just a huge hit right there by number 34, Matt Hagel. So as most of you know, last night's game was rained out, and this has been postponed for tonight. The crowd seems to be kind of quiet so far. I believe there'd be a bigger crowd if the game was last night. And Torrin gets the pitch, and he's got some huge running room to the outside, and he gets tackled in the secondary for a gain of 11 yards. First down, Patriots.
Torrin, Tyson Beckford-Williams, posing for the highlight films there, just steamrolling over the opponents.
First down, Patriots.
So it'll be first down for Wayne Hills at their Mustang 35-yard line. And Wayne Hills wants to get off to a good start, quiet down the Mainland crowd. Mainland was expecting 1,000 fans from their high school. The pitch goes outside to Torrin Williams. He's got some blockers ahead, but nice tackle on the outside by number 34, Matt Hagel.
Well, Torrin Williams pounding the ball early here. Gained about 4 yards on that play. Matt Hagel, who made the big hit on the special teams play earlier, makes another tackle.
So it'll be 2nd and 7 for Wayne Hills. Neither team has given up a point so far this season, so this should be a hard-fought game. My prediction is 21-7 Wayne Hills. I formation. Monahan fakes the handoff inside, and he hands off to Bucci on the reverse. Bucci breaks the tackle, and he's taken out of bounds at the Mustang 17-yard line, where it'll be a first down for Wayne Hills.
Bucci, great run to the outside. Just the the reverse just deceived the whole entire defensive line. Just basic play, basic run, great results.
First down, Patriots.
Great call there, changing it up is Coach Olson. Runs an end around, fake handoff inside, give it to Bucci outside, big gain.
So 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line. Wayne Hills will go with a pro set with Adamo and Zambelli in the backfield. And the handoff goes inside to Adamo, picks up 4 yards on the play. Last game, Adamo played a huge role in Wayne Hills' victory. Ran 5 times for 40 yards and a score. Well, no, 10 times 40 yards. But he had a huge opening drive where he ran for about 20 yards on the drive, set up a Wayne Hills touchdown.
Wayne Hills sticking to the running game. Monahan's yet to drop back and pass as Wayne Hills approaches the end zone. But the Hills is misspelled in the end zone if we get a shot of it. There's a Z instead of an S.
And Monahan's going to take it on the keeper. He's got some room to the outside, and he brings it in for the score. Touchdown, Wayne Hills.
Brendan monkeying around Monahan, just completely deceiving the whole entire Midland Regional team, running it himself, jamming it right down the throats of the defense, just showing them, how Wayne Hills likes to rep it.
In school this week, the Wayne Hills players, instead of going out for lunch, they went in and watched tape of Mainland Regional High School. I don't believe they've ever done this before in previous years. Maybe it's worked off right now as Wayne Hills takes an early 7-0 lead. Damo will be on for the extra point.
Attempt the extra point.
The snap is up, and it's good. So Wayne Hills takes a 7-0 lead with 7:55 left to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, Mike, the cookie's starting to crumble, just like the Indian Hills game. I mean, as you can see right here, the momentum's shifting Wayne Hills' way already. And just get ready to hop right on that tidal wave of tenacity and just destroy Mainland Regional.
One of my keys earlier was not to let Wayne Hills get an early lead because they could really expand on that. Mainland Regional traveling a long way and have to be disappointed down 7-0 with 7:55 left in the first quarter.
Mainland Regional High School is located in Atlantic County, so a good 2.5-hour trip this morning from Mainland.
Fazio and Smith are deep to the
Now,
front.
there's been some question on whether Mainland should be ranked number 18 in the state, considering they went 4-7 last year. Scott, why do you think they're ranked so high?
Well, they play some tough competition. As you see, they come all the way up to Wayne Hills to play a game. So that 4-7 record is a little misleading. Plus, they have two terrific players on their roster. As a good kickoff again, he keeps it inbounds back to the 12-yard line. And good coverage once again by Wayne Hills, holding Mainland inside the 25-yard line.
The 13 is brought down on the
Now, the story of why Mainland's playing Wayne Hills tonight is that another team was scheduled to play Wayne Hills, but when they found out it was Wayne Hills and not Wayne Valley, they canceled the game immediately. Wayne Hills had trouble finding another squad, and Mainland, who likes to play tough teams, decided to play Wayne Hills. Next year, Wayne Hills will be traveling to Mainland to play the Mustangs. So the T wing, and it gets handed off inside, and he's going to pick up about 4 yards in the play.
Another lackluster run by Mainland Regional. I don't know, Mike. Mainland Regional or Mainland or mid-level talent? I mean, you got to decide here. This is worse than the time that I had that burnt casserole at your mom's house for dinner.
The carry brought down by Otterbein. Gain of about 4, 2nd and 6.
So Otterbein picks up the tackle. It'll be 2nd and 6 from the Mainland 29-yard line. And this time Capiletti back in the pocket. He's going to pass it off to Giuliano, and he picks up the first down before being taken down by David Dama.
Well, a big reason why Wayne Hills was studying all this film on Mainland is they have a very unique formation where they have 3 starting running backs in Brandon Hargross, Paul Giuliano, and John Impagliazzo. Only 1 wide receiver, so there the pass goes out to Giuliano out of the backfield. They have a very unique formation.
The only thing Hargross about this game is Regional's running game.
So after picking up 2 yards, Wayne Hills crumbles up on the running back. And it'll be 2nd and 7 for the Mustangs on their own 36-yard line.
Brought down by Chaz Lynn.
And it'll be 2nd and 7 for Mainland. They need to keep moving the chains and get some points out of this drive.
And Pagliazzo back in the pocket finds Broadway for about a 3-yard gain. Bradway, my mistake.
Bradway just showing no effort or determination just to make the drive work. He stood still, got driven back, and now he's just ready to sit back and enjoy the show.
Bradway, the starting wide receiver, they only have 1. He's also their backup quarterback, so that's another aspect they could use. Maybe have the wide receiver pass a pass or 2.
And Pagliazzo hands it off inside to Hargrove, and he gets nothing. Nice tackle right there from number 55, Paul Ogden.
The big O laying it down. Yahtzee, just right up the middle. I mean, it's over.
So Mainland will be forced to punt, and Chaz Lynn, Dallas Lynch will be back to take the kick.
By a host of Patriots.
With 5:05 and counting, Wayne Hills with a 7-0 lead, looking to add on to that early lead.
Lynch and Lynn are deep to return the punt.
So once again, a nice kick, and Chaz will take it at his own 27-yard line. They fake the reverse to Dallas, and he's got some blocking on the outside. Oh, nice tackle right there by number 30, John Impagliazzo.
Much better coverage on the punt return this time by Mainland. On the first punt, Chaslin was able to break it outside for a nice return. This time he gets nothing despite the fake reverse.
On their own 25.
Like Greg Olson, Mainland has a player on their team that's nationally recruited, number 65, John Rockford, 6'2", 290, has orally committed to the University of Miami, the defending national champions. I formation for Wayne Hills. And they're going to go for the reverse with Greg Olson. And Olson's got some room on the outside. He's got a blocker, Dallas Lynch ahead, and he's going to pick up the first down. Nice run there by Greg Olson.
Look at that shiftiness by a tight end. They go with a tight end around. And Olson makes some terrific moves to pick up the first down. Greg actually does run about a 4.6 240. Amazing for the size of Olson.
Big holes just dominating right in there. I mean, hello, NCAA? Yes, I'd like a full ride. Oh, you could just deliver it to #1 tight end nation, Lane, because this kid's just phenomenal.
So Monahan with a bootleg. And nice tackle right there by the Mustangs. Number 42, Mike Thomas with a tackle.
Well, Monahan took the first score in on a run like that, but this time Mainland plays it much better and no gain for Monahan.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Patriots at their own 38-yard line. Monahan comes back in the huddle. I formation for the Patriots, split wide receivers.
It's like a one technique.
Monahan fakes the handoff to Torn, and he's going to throw it to Greg. Greg makes the catch at the 48-yard line of the Mustangs, and he's taken down immediately. It'll be 1st down and 10 for the Patriots.
Terrific catch by Olson. The pass was a little bit behind him. Reached back, adjusted for the ball, and picked up another 1st down. You can see Wayne Hills is trying to get the ball into Greg Olson's hands, whether they give it to him on a handoff, pass it to him. He's going to get a lot of touches today.
Mustangs 49.
Twins right for the Patriots.
He's on the nose now, JD.
Handoff goes inside to Torrin Williams, and he's going to pick up 1 yard before being taken down by Mike Thomas. Miller was blitzing on the outside.
Torrin Tyson Beckford Williams does a great effort running the ball solidly into the middle. He held on that football tighter than a 2nd grader holding a SpongeBob SquarePants lunchbox.
Gain of about a yard on the play.
Seemed to be a little bit of a busted play as Monahan was slow in handing the ball off to Williams. You could tell that play was not going to develop.
I formation for the Patriots. Watch Greg Olson on the outside as Torrin goes in motion to line up as a receiver. And they fake the handoff inside, and they're going to pass it to Greg on a slant, and he's going to pick up a good chunk of yardage. It'll be 1st down for the Patriots on the 31-yard line of Mainland.
Olson gets another touch, his 3rd of the drive. All 3 have resulted in 1st downs, so they have to continue to get the ball to their nationally ranked tight end.
Lights, camera, action, and satisfaction. It's Olson's stage. Just give him his props now. Big Ols.
Pro set for the Patriots. He's going to hand it off to Torrin, and he gets taken down, but not before he picks up 5 yards on the play.
Running up the middle right where Big John Rockford is playing, so they're not afraid to go after that University of Miami recruit.
Hudson with a tackle.
Yes, Rudner. Hudson.
2nd and 6 from the Mainland 26-yard line. I formation for the Patriots, or Twins. Monahan fakes the handoff inside. He's going to go to Dallas Lynch, and he overthrows him. It'll be incomplete, and it'll be 3rd and 6.
Monahan's pass intended for Lynch.
Dallas, die another day. Lynch just making a great effort to jump up, but he couldn't grab it. We'll see you next play.
So a big 3rd down situation for the Patriots. Coach Olson giving his instructions into Brendan. Let's see if they try to get the ball in the hands of number 4, Greg Olson. The pitch goes out to Torrin Williams. Olson with a nice block ahead, but Torrin cannot pick up the 1st down. He will be 2 yards short. Let's see if Wayne Hills goes for it on 4th down.
T. Beckford Will is right there, repping it. Great run, great try. Next play.
it looks as if Wayne Hills will go for it on 4th and 2.
I think this is the right call. It's a pretty long field goal, about 42 yards. Too close to punt. 4th and 2, big play here.
Look for a handoff to number 29, David Dama. And the pitch goes outside to Torrin Williams. Nice pickup by David Damo, and he will be close to the first down. They'll have to measure it.
Ouch. That just shows you, Mike. What do you get when you stick another team in a room with Wayne Hills? The same thing we got when you stuck your mom in the kitchen. Chaos.
So they'll be stopped short on the first down, and the Mustangs will take over from their own 25-yard line.
Well, Wayne Hills was not afraid to run it up the middle earlier on the drive, but this time, maybe a little fear of Big John Rockford as they do a toss outside on a 4th and 2 play. A little surprising.
Coach Olson is not pleased right now. And the handoff goes to Hargrove inside, and he'll be dropped for a loss by number 29, David Dama.
Animal Adamo, letting him know who he is, where he is on the field at all times of the game, just making his presence felt.
Giuliano on the carry.
As that's the end of the first quarter, Wayne Hill's very impressive with their defense. Mainland Regional had 575 yards rushing in their first 2 games of the season. That's almost 300 yards per game, having very little amount this time.
So 11 total yards for the Mainland Regional offense. Outstanding defense once again displayed by the Patriots.
The scoreboard says it all, Mike. I mean, even Stat Boy here knows what's going on. Don't you, Stat Boy? Right.
So Brendan Monahan is 2 for 2 with 18 yards, 15 rushing yards. Capoletti 2 for 2, 3 yards.
Capilouti actually has 9 yards passing, correction. But still, 11 yards rushing from a team who's had 575 yards in their first 2 games. Amazing defense Wayne Hills is showing as they keep their shutout streak extended to 9 quarters now.
So Torrin Williams has 29 yards on 6 carries, and he has been huge so far in the first quarter for Wayne Hills, although he could not pick up that huge 4th down for the Patriots.
Torrin, oh, he's huge. Smile for the cameras, Tyson.
So Capoletti's back in the pocket, and Greg Olson bats it up in the air, and Capoletti catches it, and he's taken down for a huge loss, and the Mustangs will have it at their own 10-yard line.
Well, Capoletti's now 3 out of 3 passing as he catches his own pass, but a big loss on the play.
Belly and Monahan.
So it'll be a loss of about 15 yards, but it'll be 2nd and 25 for the Mustangs.
Yeah, Capoletti got pushed back farther than that fruit basket I was supposed to get, guys. Still haven't gotten it yet.
So wing formation for the Mustangs, and he's going to hand it off inside to Hargrove, and Hargrove's got a huge hole. He breaks it open. Dallas is going to try to catch up to him, and he's at the 10, and he's taken down by Chaz Lynn at the 7-yard line. What a huge play by number 14, Brandon Hargrove.
Mainland Regional, coast to coast, repping the 7-3-2 to the fullest. Wayne Hills right now. Let's take a look in the mirror and decide where they're going to go with this game.
Well, there's that running game we talked about. They finally show that big gain they can get. I was confused up here with where the ball went. We need to see some sort of instant replay on that one. Great run by Hargrove, picked up about nearly 90 yards on the play.
So an 84-yard run for number 14, Brandon Hargrove, the star running back for the Mustangs. And Wayne Hills is in trouble to get up their first points of the season. Capoletti on the rollout. He's going to pitch it out to number 30, Impagliazzo, and he gets taken down by number 41, Chaz Lynn. Huge tackle right there from the Patriots.
What a great open field tackle by Lynn. which keeps the shutout streak going a little bit longer at least. They're going to make Mainland earn this touchdown.
I'd just like to make a correction from 2 weeks ago. Apparently, our director, Mike Schuler, was telling us it was Mr. Hookstraight in charge of the replays, so that's why there will be no replays for today's game. Mr. Hookstraight is doing the Don Bosco prep against Bergen Catholic game for Cablevision. And the handoff goes inside to Hargrove, and he picks up the score, and there goes the Wayne Hills shutout streak as Mainland gets on the board with 6 points.
Hargrove's on.
Sadate. The crowd just went quieter than a Rosie O'Donnell karaoke hour. I mean, folks, I'm speechless. There's nothing to say.
It's amazing how one play can turn a game around. It was 2nd and 20 on their own 5 for Mainland Regional. All of a sudden, a nearly 90-yard run gets them right back in this game. 2 plays later, they score a touchdown, and pending the extra point, we are about to be tied. And the extra point is up and good, 7-7.
Just slipped in through the uprights, and Coach Olson is not happy right now, hollering at his troops to pick it up as the game is tied right now 7-7 with 10:07 left to go in the first half. So Hargrove breaking open a huge run. Scott and I were fooled up here in the booth. Looked like they were going to pitch it to the outside or fake the pitch outside. Turns out they handed it off inside, and I think the Patriots were fooled on the play.
I thought the quarterback, Capoletti, still had the football, but somehow I see it, Hargos running down the field at about the 30 and all the way down to the 5-yard line. He is the real home run threat on this team for Mainland Regional. He can really break one open like that. Now he's close to 100 yards, and he was doing nothing throughout the whole first quarter. He has 264 yards in the first 2 games, so now well over 350 yards in 3 games during the season.
So, Scott, tell us, any interviews on tap today? The people at home are dying to know. Mr. Ruffini, anyone?
In fact, we do have an interview for halftime. Gina Gallo will be joining us in the booth. And Lou is surprised on that one. I don't know why, but whatever. So Torrin will take it from his own 10-yard line. And he's got some running room up ahead, but he's taken down at the 30-yard line. Now, we talked to Mr. Ruffini this week. Possible interview after the game. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. After last week's interview, there was a little miscommunication at the end of last week's game. I'd like to explain myself why there wasn't an interview at the end of the game. Brendan Monahan was getting interviewed by my associates, or whatever you want to call colleagues, from WGHT, and that left us dry as Scott had to interview Mr. Feeney for several minutes. The game was cut short, and that's why there was no post-game show last game. I formation for the Patriots split wide receivers. And, the ball hits the ground. Monahan dives on it. And the Mustangs are so close to taking the lead right now if Brendan Monahan does not pick up that ball.
What a huge break for Wayne Hills. If they don't recover that fumble, they could be losing for the first time all season long, as Mainland Regional would have had the ball around the 15-yard line. Interesting to see what the call will be now here. 2nd and 19 for Wayne Hills. Tie game. They haven't been in this situation often throughout the last few years.
Remember the last time they were 2nd and long? Brandon Hargrove broke open a big run. Let's see if the Patriots try to do something similar as Monahan gets sacked in the backfield by number 66, Matt Malama.
Brendan, I just got mauled. Monahan really hurting over there. I mean, the Hills, the offense really has to close up that line and protect the quarterback. He just got mauled. I mean, Jesus.
25, Patriots.
Coach Olson showing a little bit of a sense of urgency right now. Drop Monahan back, send a couple guys deep, hoping for that home run play that Mainland Regional got earlier.
Right now, look for Wayne Hills to get it in the hands of number 4, Greg Olson. But instead, they're going to pitch it inside to number 29, David Damo. Safe play right there, and the Patriots will be forced to punt.
Great play, guys. But you know what? I think they really have to start getting the ball to Olson. I mean, he's the real big key to this game. He's the real big key to last game, and they're just not showing any determination and force to Olson, and that's where the problem is.
Now, in the first game of the season, Brendan Monahan set a school record with a 70-yard punt. And another nice punt by Brendan Monahan. takes a favorable Wayne Hills bounce, and Mainland will have it at their own 40, the Patriots' 46-yard line when he gets taken down by number 56, Marco Horsky.
Smith on the punt return.
So Mainland Regional has the ball in Wayne Hills territory once again. Wayne Hills, yet to be trailing all season long, are in some trouble here. It'll be a big test to the defense now to see if they can stop Mainland Regional and hold them to no points on this drive.
Now, earlier this week, I was speaking to number 56, Marco Horsky. Lou, do you know how he got his number?
No. Actually, no, Mike. No.
Well, Scott, let's see if you can take a stab at it.
I'll hear first. Let's see, the pass is wide open downfield. Is number 6, Michael Bradway, down to the 1-yard line. He beat Dallas Lynch on a go route. Huge play right there. Back to that Walhorsky thing. Number 56. The only thing I can really think about is a pro player, Lawrence Taylor. Does that have anything to do with his number?
Good guess right there from Scott Sanfilippo, as the number is taken from Lawrence Taylor. But a huge play for the Mustangs right there, getting it at the Wayne Hills 1-yard line, and Wayne Hills has lost complete momentum as Capoletti looks like he's taken it in for the score. There's no signal yet from the refs.
Capoletti on the quarterback sneak.
Yeah, Mike, I agree. I mean, deep pass, and now Wayne Hills is in the deep end of the pool, and they don't know how to swim. They're just struggling, and they're losing everything they had before in the first quarter.
So the ball is almost at the goal line right now. It's so close they might just give it in to Argrove right here, but they're going to go for another sneak. And there's no signal again from the referees. I think they stopped him short.
Capoletti tries to go right over the pile, but he was stuffed short of the goal line. But Wayne Hills again will have to make another goal line stand as it's going to be 3rd and inches. The big play again for Mainland Regional, 45-yard pass play. 2 big plays have been the difference in this ball game.
Right now, if I'm the Mustangs, I give it to Hargrove, but they'll go for another QB sneak, and this time he takes it in for the score. Touchdown Mustangs. It's 13-7.
Wow, Mike. I think you have to be just as surprised as I am right now. I mean, I don't know what's going on. Scott, how do you think they can fix this? Well, any suggestions you have, guys, I remind you, mjason23@aol.com. We will be receiving them.
I don't know how you could really fix this right now. Damage has been done, but they just got to prevent those big plays. And very adamant was the Mustangs coach to get that ball in the end zone. He went with a quarterback sneak 3 times in a row and finally got the ball into the end zone.
So Capoletti's persistence pays off. 3rd time's a charm.
Excellence through perseverance. Excellence through perseverance.
Right, Scott. Perseverance.
Will hold. Paul Giuliano will attempt the extra point.
So the score is 13-7 right now. Delay on the field. Scott, are you stunned right now? As much as Lewis?
Well, 1 minute, Wayne Hills is in complete control of this game. The whole first quarter, they give up 11 yards. And then they have the Mustangs backed up to their own 5-yard line, 2nd and 20. They get an almost 90-yard run, score a touchdown, get a stop on defense, get great field position, score another touchdown, and all of a sudden we have a different ball game.
Yeah, Scott, I mean, this is something that you just think would never happen. I mean, just like Mike's mom not burning the casserole for once.
So the persistence pays off for Lou as he keeps insulting my mom's cooking.
The extra point is good.
So the point after is good, and it's 14-7, Mustangs over the Patriots. And Coach Olson is really angry at Dallas Lynch, who got beat on that pass play. He needs that offense to get them back in this ball game as they are down 14-7. 6:46 left in the second quarter.
Now, Lou, all joking aside, I believe you did meet my mom at Schuyler Colfax Middle School this week. Is that true?
Yes, Mike. The rumors are true. I did meet your mom, but she did have a casserole, and I kindly refused because of the history. I'm sorry. She's a great woman.
So I'm sure my mom's listening at home. Lou's joking. Don't worry, Mom.
Don't worry, Mrs. Rudner. I love your casserole.
That Hills end zone that is misspelled has been the end zone of scoring. All 3 scores have gone into that end zone as Williams takes it on the short hop. And a big return.
Williams on the kickoff.
Scott, what do you think the Z for Hills stands for?
I don't know. It's spelled right on the one end zone, H-I-L-L-S, and on the other end zone, it's just like H-I-L-L-2 or something. I don't know what it is.
Speaking of Z's and letters no one cares about, Scott, what is the X factor in this game, like in last game?
Well, the X factor we said in last game was Bucci, and he's another big X factor in this ball game.
Right now, my X factor has to be Brendan Monahan because I believe as the game goes on, the run will get progressively tougher for Wayne Hills to accomplish. So they're going to have to rely on the arm of Brendan Monahan, a little more difficult than last year because they had the All-State quarterback, Chris Olson.
Yeah, it's a huge test for Brendan Monahan. He's actually going to have to throw some passes in the second half. He's used to being either out of the game or handing the ball off the whole second half. This game is going to go down to the end.
Twins on the outside. Monahan fakes the handoff to Torn. He's going to roll out in the pocket. He's got Adamo in the flat. Adamo breaks a tackle, picks up the first down, and bowls over a few Mustangs on his way to the 49-yard line.
Solid run by Animal Adamo. Just dominating over there, running over Mainland Regional, picking up yards, picking this Wayne Hills team back up.
Adamo runs over people on that reception. And Monahan, a big throw right there. Got to get his confidence to stay. He does have a touchdown run, and he's got to keep throwing the ball on the money.
High formation for the Patriots. 2 wide receivers on the near side, and it's pitched out to Torrin Williams. Torrin trips himself up at the 47-yard line of the Mustangs, but he picks up 5 yards on the play.
Up by Mike Thomas.
Good run by Williams. Solid effort to make his way through the hole, and we're looking to see more. 40 more yards, Darren. 40 more yards.
Wayne Hills looking to even this score up, and it's second and about 4 from their 47-yard line.
So 4:50 and counting for the first half, and Wayne Hills needs to put a score on the board right now. Monahan fakes the handoff inside. He's got a rollout. Oh, and it gets popped out from behind, and the Mustangs jump on it out at their own 42-yard line.
Turnovers. Monahan fumbles for the second time today. He recovered the last one, but this one, they're not so fortunate as Wayne Hills.
Yeah, you could talk about turnovers, all right. The team's going to be having nightmares for the next few weeks in practice.
So number 74, Joe Nolan, is getting an earful right now, the center of the Patriots. Joe is telling me this week he needs to step it up this week. He's got to go against Rockford. He knows what he has to do for the Patriots to win this game. So Capoletti hands it off inside to Impagliazzo, and he gets taken down for a loss by number 29, David Dama.
They're just trying to chew up the clock now like a dry piece of gum, just to cruise on into the second half with this lead and this momentum as this Wayne Hills team just keeps falling apart.
Well, going back to Nolan on Rockford, you can't really stop Rockford. You can only hope to contain them, but he's going to make his plays, and just like Greg Olson, he'll make plays. You got to try to limit them, though.
So maybe Gina Gallo will have some insight on Joe Nolan.
Low blow, Mike. Low blow.
Capoletti back to pass. He's looking for someone downfield, and Greg eats him up like Lou ate up my mom's casserole.
Yes, he does. But I don't think Lou ever ate the casserole. Great blitz from the Wayne Hills Patriots. He had 4 guys rushing Capoletti, and finally he was brought down by 2 Wayne Hills Patriots. One was Greg Olson.
I just want to say a special thanks to Mike Rudner's dog, who faithfully sits under the table during dinner time. Good job, dog.
Third and 24.
So it'll be 3rd and 24 from the Mustangs' 29-yard line. Wing formation once again. Giuliano set on the outside, and it's going to be an option play. And Capilouti gets taken down by number 41, Chaz Lynn, and Wayne Hills will get the ball back as the Mustangs will be forced to punt.
Chaz Lynn playing terrific defense today. He made a great tackle on the goal line earlier, and now another big hit on Capilouti.
Chaz Lynn playing terrific, period.
Lynch and Lynn deep to receive.
So Lynch and Lynn will be back to receive for the Patriots. Looks like Wayne Hills will have the return formation on. Not a great snap. Sholari didn't even bother to go after it. And Lynn takes it from his own 44-yard line and picks up 2 yards on the play before being taken down by number 45, Miller.
Down by Miller.
Probably one more solid drive in here for Wayne Hills before the half. They have to score if they intend on winning this game. That's all I have to say about that, Mike.
And we're back. Nothing happened for those 2 seconds. So 2:18 left to go in the first half. 14-7 Mustangs. Wayne Hills has it at their own 45-yard line.
While Mainland Regional, the most points they've given up this year is 13 to Penn Charter. Wayne Hills can score a touchdown and an extra point. They'll score 14.
I'm sorry, I said that Mainland was unscored upon. I believe that was only in the second half. Olsen fumbles the ball. And I'm not sure there has not been any signal.
They got it down.
And they're going to call it an incomplete pass. So it'll be 2nd and 10. And the Mainland fans are not happy right now, as are the Ramapo coaches.
Tough drop for Greg Olsen. Usually the sure-handed. Missed that one. Fortunately for the Patriots, it's not ruled a fumble. So actually better off that was a drop pass.
Yeah, Olsen fumbling, no such thing.
I formation for the Patriots with 2:11 left to go in the first half. And Monahan's going to drop back. He's in the pocket. He gets blitzed hard. And he's taken down by number 42, Mike Thomas, for a huge loss. 10-yard loss on the play.
Big linebacker Mike Thomas on a linebacker blitz gets to Monahan, who tried to roll out of the pocket. And Monahan's shoulder pads coming out of his shirt as he got hit hard on that play.
Monahan frantically swimming around like a goldfish in a shark tank, Mike. I mean, he's got to step it up here.
So 3rd and 20 for the Patriots at their own 35-yard line. 1:35 and counting left to go in the first half. I formation, 2 wide receivers on the far side. The handoff goes inside to Torrin Williams, and he picks up about 3 yards on the play before being taken down by number 45, Doug Miller.
Malamute was also in on the tackle. The big defensive tackles, Malamute and Rockford, controlling the inside right now for Mainland Regional.
So this first half is winding down quickly. Only 7:37. The game started at 7:05. Very quick first half. The snap, nice snap to Brendan Monahan. He gets off a much better kick this time. And it's taken at the 27-yard line, and he's taken down by Chaz Lynn at the 32-yard line of the Mustangs.
Another big tackle on the open field by Chaz Lynn. Great defense and special teams played all day by Lynn.
So Drew Smith on the return picked up only 5 yards before being taken down by Lynn. They'll have 50 seconds left to go before the half. And Lou, do you think the Mustangs will try to run out the clock or go for the score?
I think basically what I've seen here, they're going to go for the big home run pass up the middle. Big play end of half. What do you think?
I think they'll play conservative. They're on the road. They'll be content with a 14-7 lead into halftime.
I tend to agree with Scott as they do hand it off inside to Hargrove, but he breaks several tackles, stays on his feet. Incredible balance by Hargrove, stiff-arming Monahan. Monahan trying to strip the ball, and he's taken down at the Wayne Hills 29-yard line Brandon Hargrove is pumped up.
Like I said, a mix between the conservative and the ballpark play. They've got both.
Well, they were just trying to run the clock out, but a couple missed tackles, and they get another big play, their third one of the half, as Olsen is upset at Paul Ogden right now.
Timeout Mustang.
So the bragging rights of North Jersey versus South Jersey belongs to South Jersey right now, as Mainland has a 14-7 lead with 38 seconds left to go in the first half, and Coach Olsen must be worried.
Yeah, I mean, what else can you be, Mike? 38 seconds left when your marquee team and marquee players just aren't performing.
So a timeout's been taken by the Mustangs. Only one timeout left to go in the first half.
So Hargos is up to 129 yards rushing, basically on 2 carries. The long run from the own 5-yard line all the way to the Wayne Hills 5, 89 yards. And then this run, which had to be about 40 yards as well.
Scores, highlights, and interviews, including from this game tonight.
The run was actually 39 yards.
100 on your AM radio dial. WHTV.
So Mainland breaks from the timeout. Let's see what they try to do right now, as Hargrove's, my mistake, has been taken out of the game. And Capeluti's back to pass. This might be a QB draw. No, he's going to throw, and he's got it wide open in the end zone, and he drops it. Number 24, Paul Giuliano, had no one close to him in the end zone, and he could not make the play. Little overthrown right there from Capeluti.
Wayne Hill's catching a huge break right there. I mean, if they win the game, that's the key right there.
So that could be the turning point for Wayne Hills. Let's see if they try to force a turnover at the end of the half and force Mainland to take a 14-7 lead going into halftime.
Well, the Wayne Hills defense, which has been the heart and soul of the team through the first 9 quarters of the season, is starting to let up. They almost gave up another touchdown.
So Capeluti back to pass. He's going to go deep once again. Dallas with a coverage, but it's not enough. It's a touchdown. Capeluti to Bradway, 5-6. And the Mainland Regional Mustangs have just taken a 27 lead.
Coach Olsen is just like, what is going on? He has his hands in the air. He can't believe it. Dallas Lynch is beaten for the second time.
Kern will hold. Giuliano will attempt the extra point.
So Lou, Scott, and I are absolutely stunned right now. We all thought the Patriots would win this game, and after the first drive, it looked like they'd win it pretty handily. The snap is good, the kick is through, and it's 21-7 with 23 seconds left to go in the first half.
Well, I said the 3 keys to the game earlier was Hargos needed a big game, and he's done so in this first half. Turnovers are going to be key, and Wayne Hills has turned the ball over twice now. And the third key was Wayne Hills to get a big lead, and they got up to 7-0, but could not add to it.
This is Lou. I just want to say I had a great time here. I'm sorry I can't stay longer, guys. I got to leave, but, you know, keep up the good work.
So, Scott, it's a real shame Lou will not be joining us in the second half.
At least no more cooking comments in the second half.
I believe Lou is much more experienced in his second game.
Yes, he was. He started to make some more intellectual comments and less stupid remarks.
So the Mustangs will be kicking off from their own 40-yard line. Lynch and Williams are deep for the Patriots. The kick bounces, and Lynch picks it up at his own 10-yard line, looking for a hole. Can't find it, and he's taken down at their own 34-yard line.
Lynch on the kickoff.
Well, Coach Olsen's going to have to make some adjustments in the second half. The first 2 games, they haven't really had to worry about it as they had leads going into halftime. But now they're trailing by 14 points. Most likely that'll be the score going into halftime with 16 seconds left. So Coach Olsen will have to make some big adjustments.
Now, it does look like Wayne Hills will try to do something before the half. See if they just run it inside, or maybe they'll go for a big play. And they do run it inside. and he's taken down by number 66, Matt Halamut.
Malamute is playing a great game. He's feeding off of Rockford. Rockford's going to be drawing double teams all day, and Malamute, unblocked, has made some big plays in this first half.
So that's the end of the first half. The score is 21-7 Mustangs over the Wayne Hills Patriots. We are just stunned right up here in Patriot Stadium. Cannot believe what's going on before our eyes. And Wayne Hills looks dejected going into halftime.
Wayne Hills came out fired up, stopped Mainland Regional on a 3-and-out on the first drive of the game, came down on their opening drive and scored a touchdown. But since then, they played very, very sloppy, and that is why they're losing 21-7, 21 unanswered points for Mainland Regional in this second.
So we will see if Gina Gallo will be joining us up in the booth. But right now, we're waiting for Staffway to add up the stats and see what the numbers are for the first half.
And if you are waiting for the band to perform at halftime, they are not here today, as they are at a competition, so you will not see the band at halftime. Instead, you will see the cheerleaders right now. The Wayne Hills Patriots cheerleaders coming out at halftime to perform their routine. Patriots just shot themselves in the foot here in the first half. Second quarter, actually. The first quarter was terrific, but 21 points for Mainland Regional in the second quarter. Coach Olson cannot be happy at all.
Now last week, we were talking about our good friend, Jeff Floyd. This week, we promised someone special that we would be discussing him. Scott, give us a bio of Joe Leskowitz, big trumpet player for the Patriots.
Well, Joe Leskowitz in AP Bio, 7th period with Mr. Raffini, me, and Mike Rudner. He has a little bit of trouble in the class as he thinks that number 1 is an organism, but besides that, he's a good kid and big heart and soul of that band.
Now, there's rumors circulating around the band that Joe Leskowitz wants to be the successor to Jeff Floyd. Scott, does he have the stuff to be the Wayne Hills band leader?
I believe he does. All he talks about is that band. He comes into Mr. Raffini and starts talking about what they're going to do, how they're going to perform. So I think he has the qualities to be Jeff Floyd's successor.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Wayne Hills Patriot cheerleaders.
So as the cheerleaders get a big round of applause as they exit the field. Scott, this has just been a rough first half for Wayne Hills, losing 21-7. Scott, what can you say? What just happened in this first half? What are the reasons the Wayne Hills is behind 21-7?
Sloppy play. What else is there? Just turnovers. They give up 3 huge plays, especially that big run by Hargros all day long. He had an 89-yard run, I believe, also a 39-yard run. You take those 2 plays out of the equation, and we're probably sitting at a 7-7 game.
Good point there, Scott. I'll run down the stats for Wayne Hills. Brendan Monahan, 3 for 4, 46 yards passing, not including a 15-yard TD run. Huge play for the Patriots in the first half. Got him on the board. Looked like they were going to run away with this game after Mainland's first drive.
They came out totally fired up. They would not make a mistake in the first 2 drives of the game. Marched right down the field with some big runs by Torrin Williams, and then Brendan Monahan finished it off with a 15-yard option play.
So that was the first score of the game. It made it Wayne Hills 7, Mainland nothing, but the lead did not last for long. As Scott talked about before, Hargros with a huge 84-yard run brought it in for a touchdown later on in the game. Scott Hargros, what do you have to say about him? What have you seen from him in the first half?
Huge player. They just need to get him the ball in the second half. He didn't get many touches, but when he did, he was explosive. Breaking tackles, showing a great combination of strength and speed. And you'll expect a big dose of him in the second half with a 14-point lead for Mainland Regional.
So that made it 7-7. A turnover later on and a score as Capelluti took it in for a quarterback sneak after a couple of tries. And Hargross's numbers on the day, 8 carries, 129 yards. Like Scott said, most of that came on 2 plays. Just great running right now from Mainland, and Wayne Hills has to find a way to stop the run in the second half in order to win this game.
Well, they had the run stopped in the first quarter. What did they have, about 3-4 yards rushing in the first quarter? But the second quarter, they just broke it open with those long gains.
As we said before, it was only 11 total yards in the first quarter for Mainland, and they just broke it open in the second quarter. Greg Olson has 32 yards receiving, 2 catches, and a nice 12-yard run. What have you seen from Greg so far in the first half?
Well, they got him the ball 3 times on their second offensive drive of the game. That was the only 3 touches he had. Besides that, he's been pretty quiet on the offensive side of the ball with 1 drop. And they need to get him the ball in the second half. He's their key player. Give him the ball on a handoff. Give him the ball on a pass. Whatever it takes. Just get Greg Olson the football down by 14 points. He's your big play guy.
So I'm sure right now Coach Olson must be devising up some sort of plan to get Wayne Hills back in this game after falling behind 21-7. What can you look for in the second half besides giving the ball to number 4, Greg Olson?
I would have to look for what happened in the beginning of the first half. Fired up play, making plays, running around the field. Plays like Chaz Lynn was making, open field tackles. And they just have to get some sort of rhythm going. If they get a rhythm, they can get right back in this ball game.
Now, a key stat right now for Wayne Hills is they are 1 for 4 on 3rd down. That has really killed them so far. They've had a couple of 3rd and shorts. They had that 4th and short where Torrin Williams couldn't pick up the 2 yards. And I think that might have been what turned around this game, losing it on 4th down, looking like they were going to put up 14 points early on in the game.
It sure was. I said one of those big points was Wayne Hills jumping out to a big lead. They get a first down there. They probably go in for a score and make it 14-0. Instead, it's 7-0. They give the ball back to Mainland Regional. They end up scoring 21 straight points, and now look at the score, 21-7.
So it seemed as if Mainland lost their momentum on the following play as the quarterback, Capelluti, was taken down for a huge loss. And Scott, just run down what happened the play after. Right now, our play of the first half.
Well, it was, I don't know what the play was. It faked everyone out. It faked us out up here. It was sort of a fake handoff outside, gave it up the middle to Hargross, and he broke it for the huge gain, which was another turning point. We talked about the 4th and 2 stop by Torrin Williams, but that run really sparked Mainland Regional.
So the score is 21-7 at the half. We can look for better things in the second half, and we will be joining you in the second half as Wayne Hills is losing 21-7 to Mainland Regional High School.
All right, cut it, Ron. Cut it.
Things will kick off and defend the south goal.
So there's the replay of the last touchdown of the first half. Capelluti to number 6, Michael Bradway, the 5-6 combination. Alex Rahm with the replay right there, taking over from Mr. Hookstrait, doing a great job.
He's on top of his game today, right on the money with the replay.
Mr. Hookstrait, watch out, Alex Rahm is on his back.
The trail will kick off.
So unfortunately, right after we left for the second half, Gina Gallo came up to our booth, and it was too late for the interview. So maybe next game we'll be able to interview Gina Gallo, cheerleader for the Wayne Hills Patriots.
We do have some other options, though. Joe Moderano sitting next to us on the right. He said he would take an interview if needed.
So if this game becomes a blowout, look for Joe Martirano to see his first action on Wayne Hills television. As Dallas Lynch takes the kickoff, and he's brought down at the 27-yard line of the Patriots, and that's where Wayne Hills will take over, and they need to put up a score right now on this drive.
Good shiftiness shown by Dallas Lynch there, eluding a tackler. and getting it up to the 27-yard line.
On their own 27.
So 1st and 10 on their own 27. And Scott and I were talking to Mr. Raffini in between the first and second half, and Mr. Raffini told us that Wayne Hills needs to score to start this half, and I'm going to agree with him. He still predicts Wayne Hills is going to win. So let's see if he's right. As Torrin Williams takes the handoff, and he gets taken down for about a 2-yard gain.
Williams on the carry.
I like the way the Patriots came out in this the second half. They come out running the football despite being down 14 points. They are not showing that they're going to let up on the running game.
So I formation for the Patriots. Greg Olson lined up as a wide receiver. Let's see what the Wayne Hills Patriots have up their sleeves here. Monahan back the pass, and it gets knocked down at the line by John Rockford, and he has some words for Joe Nolan. Now Nolan is a big kid, weighing in at about 215 pounds, could bench almost 300, but he's no comparison to number 65, John Rockford.
Rockford is enormous in the middle, showing that big frame, reaching up and knocking the pass down. This is why the Patriots have to stick to the running game, because they're going to have some trouble passing today in the second half.
Once again, I formation with 2 wide receivers on the near side, 1 on the far side, and they hand it off on a draw play to Torrin Williams, and he will be close to the first down if he's does not have it. Let's see if Wayne Hills goes for it. It'll be 4th and 1 for Wayne Hills.
You have to punt. Inside midfield, they have to punt the ball. You cannot go for it here. This would be showing way too much to go for right now. They're risking too much. Even though there's a big gain, if you get the first down, you got to punt it.
So there comes Mr. Raffini with the sticks.
In the blue, though.
In the blue right there, handing the chains off to the official, getting there in record time. And that's how short it'll be. Just inches away. So let's see if Wayne Hills will go for it. 4th and 2 feet, they'll call it, and it looks like they'll bring the punting team on.
You have to do it. You can't consider going for it. There's still too much time in the game to risk getting stopped here and giving them the ball on the 37-yard line.
So I don't know if you remember, but first week NFL football, the St. Louis Rams went for it on 4th and short, and that blew the game for them. If they would have kicked the field goal, they would have had the game won. Similar situation right here. It's in the 3rd quarter as it was back then, except Wayne Hills does not have the option to kick for a field goal.
You could see a hard count by Brendan Monahan to maybe try to get the Mainland Regional Mustangs to jump off sides, but Mainland Regional is dropping back, playing the fake punt right now.
Monahan takes the snap, gets off a pretty good kick, and is taken at the 25-yard line. He gets knocked down at the 20-yard line by number 4, Greg Olson.
Well, that is the option you also have with a quarterback punting. You could always consider faking it, even though, again, you cannot deepen your own territory early in the 3rd quarter. But if it does come down to that late in the game, a fake punt could happen with Brendan Monahan as the Wayne Hills Patriots punter.
So wing formation for the Mustangs. 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line. And Dan Shalari jumps on the play. That'll move the Mustangs up 5 yards.
Flag prior to the snap.
Wayne Hills continuing to play sloppily. You figure they would adjust at halftime, but the mistakes continue to come, and they are mounting as time is starting to become an essence.
I would just love to know what Coach Olson had to say during halftime. I am sure he was far from pleased with the performance Wayne Hills put up in the first half. And the handoff goes to Hargross, and no gain on the play. Nice job by the Patriots collapsing in the middle.
Hargross on the carry.
Well, Hargross did have about 130 yards in the first half, but around 120 came on 2 runs. So
And 5.
you take those 2 runs away, and he's done really nothing. That's why the Patriots have to continue to stop him and not allow that big gain.
Second and 5 for the Mustangs at their own 35-yard line. 10 minutes and counting left to go in the third quarter. Chaz Lynn blitzing from the outside, or the inside. Hard count by Capilouti does not work, and Hargross gets taken down for a 1-yard loss by number 55, Paul Ogden.
Hargross on the carry.
So once again, Hargross stopped for no gain. Again, he's had several runs of no gain or even short losses. It's just been those 2 runs that he broke that have been really the difference in the ball game.
Can't stress it enough. Big plays and turnovers usually win the games, and right now Mainland is killing Wayne Hills in that department. Capilouti back the pass. He's got a guy up the middle, and it's caught at the Mustangs' 46-yard line by number 30, John Impagliazzo.
What a huge play for the Mustangs. 3rd down conversions and then another big aspect of this ball game. The Patriots having little to no success on 3rd downs, and the Mustangs convert a big one on 3rd and 5, passing it over the middle.
On the 45.
Wing formation for the Mustangs once again, and Bradway switches sides with Impagliazzo. They'll get out of the wing, and they'll go to the pro set, and a flag's been thrown. I believe that'll be a delay of game on the Mustangs.
Delay of game.
A lot of confusion on the play, trying audibles, moving guys around, and they just can't get the play off, so that's a huge 5 yards. They lose.
5-yard penalty, 1st and 15.
So as Lynn goes over to the sideline to talk to Coach Olson, Wayne Hills gets ready for the 1st and 15 at the Mustangs' 40-yard line.
You did it wrong. Yeah.
Pro set for the Mustangs, split wide receivers. Capilouti, another hard count, hands it off inside to Hargross, and he's taken down for a 2-yard gain by number 29, David Dama.
On the carry.
So Hargross, another short gain. The run defense playing well in the second half. They got to keep stopping Hargross and not allow him to break one.
So it'll be 2nd and 13 at the 42-yard line of Mainland with 8:12 and counting to go in the third quarter. Look for Wayne Hills to force a possible turnover soon, as Greg Olson should be rushing the passer. And here we go. The pass is going to go deep. Monahan's there. And how do you like that? Turnovers. Brendan Monahan's got some runners ahead of him. Olson's going to block. And he's still on his feet before he gets taken down at the 40-yard line of Mainland. Scott, maybe I should quit this job and become a psychic.
Terrible play calling by Mainland Regional. They have the game in hand, up 14 points. They go for another big play. Just control the clock, punt it away. Don't go for that home run play. Even though they lived by it in the first half, they died by it here in the second half.
Just incredible. As I said before, look for a turnover right here. And he went back, threw the pass, and he threw it to Brendan Monahan, who happens to wear a Wayne Hills jersey.
Here's the play is about to come. Monahan drops back, and he's going downfield. For Dallas Lynch, jump ball. He caught it off the tip. What a play.
Dallas Lynch with the play of the season right there. Monahan threw a jump ball for Lynch and Bradway right there, and Dallas Lynch comes up with it. Outstanding play. Hits the ball in the air, dives for it, makes the catch.
Boy, what a way to make up amends for a terrible first half from Dallas Lynch. Huge play. But going back to that interception, it was like a game earlier today with Penn State and Iowa. Iowa seemed to have the game in hand, but decided to get greedy and throw the ball in the end zone. It got intercepted. Penn State ended up tying the game because of it. As a run up the middle for Williams, he's hit hard. But that interception just let Penn State back in the game, and the interception here by Wayne Hills could get them back in it.
Stopped by
So a
Malibu.
turn of momentum right now completely as Wayne Hills is marching down the field at the Mustangs 9-yard line where it'll be 2nd and 7 with 6:58 and counting left to go in this third quarter. I just cannot believe the catch right there by Dallas Lynch. Just amazing concentration right there. It seems so easy just to bat the ball and catch it, but you really have to get some good concentration. When the ball's floating around like that, it's tough to catch the ball.
Timeout.
As a timeout was called by Brendan Monahan. What a terrific play by Dallas Lynch. He made the first week of the season, he made 2 outstanding catches, 1 on an interception and 1 on a reception. And this was another great play. Risky throw by Monahan. It looked like it could have been intercepted, but Dallas Lynch tipped it up, kept his concentration, stayed with it, and made an outstanding catch. So 2nd and 7 will be for the Patriots. We'll see what they come out with. Maybe a rollout. Look for Greg Olson. 9 yards away. This is Olson territory.
So instead of the red zone, it's the Ol zone. 21-7 Mustangs, 6:46 left to go in the third quarter. And you know what that play reminded me of? Scott, I'm sure you'll remember this. I was in overseas at the time, and we're going to have a replay. Let's see how this comes out without Mr. Hookstreet. I'm sure it will be the catch by Dallas Lynch. Should be any second now, and here it is. Brendan Monahan back to pass, looking downfield, and that is not the play. I formation for the Patriots. Monahan fakes the handoff like Scott said. This time he goes for Bucci, and he brings it in for the score. 2 words right now, touchdown Patriots.
Touchdown Patriots.
I almost called it perfectly, the rollout, and Olson was behind Bucci. Had Bucci not caught it, Olson would have, but I was close on the call, and the play works out for a great touchdown for the Patriots.
So in every great story, there's soothsayers. Scott and I are providing it tonight, calling the 2 huge plays of the game as Wayne Hills gets right back in it. Adamo will go for the extra point to make it 21-14. It's up, and it is through the uprights, and Wayne Hills has turned this game completely around. The score is 21-14 with 6:40 left to go in the third quarter.
Patriots 14.
That interception by Monahan and great drive gets the Patriots back in this ball game. Now, you were saying something about that Dallas Lynch catch. It reminded you of something. You didn't finish it, so let's hear it.
I was overseas at the time on a cruise ship. Antonio Freeman made an outstanding play against the Vikings. I forget who the cornerback was. Robert Griffith, I believe. Just an outstanding play. The ball is batted around, picked it up. He was on the ground, got up, and ran it in for the score with a minute left to go in the game.
Well, the Packers are my team as a part owner, but Antonio Freeman now in Philadelphia. He made some great plays, and that was a reminiscent right there was Dallas Lynch. Unbelievable catch.
So we're going to have, here's the attempt at the replay, and that's going to be the touchdown right there from Monahan to Bucci. And Joe Martirano filling in for Lou Germinario would like to make a comment.
I just want to say how tough a kid Brendan Monahan is. He makes 2 fumbles in the first half, comes right out, picks the ball off, makes a few great passes, and that totally changed the momentum of the game. And, I mean, he deserves so much credit for that. Just want to say that.
So Joe Martirano making one more comment that was intelligent that Lou Germinario made in 2 games.
That is true. Hey, Stat Boy, how's it going over there? We need to get some comments by Stat Boy.
You know, the game so far pretty exciting. First competition Wayne Hills has seen in a while. It's making up to be a great game. Wayne Hills on defense now. Let's see what they do.
Thank you, Stat Boy. Keep those stats going.
So Lou Germinario, watch out for Joe Martirano. Capilouti back in the pocket, and he gets flushed out. Olson eats him for dinner, and he's going to be taken down for a huge loss. Olson picks up the football, and let's see what the call is right now. There's a flag. It looks like it should be holding against the Mustangs.
Why would you roll out to Greg Olson's side? The logical thing to do is roll away from Olson, but he ran right into him and tack on another sack for Greg Olson's seasonal total. We're going to have to start taking applications up here for the announcing. Joe Martirano showing he could do a good job up here. We'll have to see who else can maybe announce.
Now, last week I was at that game working for WGHT, and Greg Olson made this outstanding play. The quarterback rolled out to the other side like Scott said, except it didn't matter. Greg came from the blind side, grabbed the back of his jersey, and pulled him down as if he was a little child. I mean, Greg is just so strong and quick, they cannot avoid him. Last game, Greg had 2 sacks for the Patriots, and he also had a touchdown catch against Northern Highlands. Played a big role in the Wayne Hills victory.
I believe he has 1.5 sacks today as well, so 3.5 in the last 2 games. Monster season for Greg Olson.
Last year, of course, he recorded 12 sacks for the Patriots. If you remember, that stat was brought to you by Mike Berlin last year. So the pitch is going to go outside for the Mustangs to number 24, Paul Giuliano.
Good defense once again by the Patriots, and I believe Greg Olson's going to break his record this season as he's going to approach 12 very soon.
Greg just putting up gigantic numbers for the Patriots.
Second and about 20.
So 2nd and 20 for the Mustangs. And the handoff goes inside to Hargross, and that'll be 3rd and long after they mark where the ball is going to be. Wayne Hills is just pumped up right now.
Another good play action by Mainland Regional. They faked the ball to Giuliano and handed it off at the middle, but Wayne Hills was not fooled at all. They've been doing a lot of those play action plays, and it's worked sometimes, such as that 89-yard run, but aside from that, the Patriots have played pretty well against it.
Wayne Hills, an outstandingly coached team led by Coach Olson, will not allow the Patriots to make 2 dumb plays in a game. Capilouti back in the pocket, running away from him, and Scott Pospisil brings him down for a huge sack. Scotty Pops, as they call him at school, making his name.
Big play by Pospisil, but the Mustangs are very fortunate that Pospisil got him and not Olson. Olson was coming from the backside, and he could have jarred that ball loose if he got to Capilouti.
The Mustangs will punt.
So the Mustangs will be forced to punt. 4th and 18 at their own 13-yard line. Wayne Hills should have outstanding field position. High snap. That's going to be 2 points for Wayne Hills. Looks like the Mustangs are getting a little nervous. Scott, what do you think?
Well, the Patriots seem to make some adjustments at halftime. And it seems like the odd number quarters have been controlled by the Patriots and the even number quarters by the Mustangs. As the Patriots are right back in the ball game, and they'll get the ball here on a safety kick by the Mustangs. They'll have to punt the ball to the Patriots.
Wayne Hills is fired up on their sideline right now. And the score is now 21-16. Mustangs over Wayne Hills, but this lead has evaporated before our eyes.
We are seeing a great game right now. And the snapping of the Mustangs has been a bit of a problem. A couple of bad snaps on punts. There's an earlier one, they snapped it too far to the side. The punter had to go over and field it and then punt it away. And this one's well over his head. No chance for the punter to stop it.
I don't know if fans at home noticed this, but in the first half, Ramapo coaches were extremely loud. Scott, I haven't heard a word from them in the second half.
Well, they're a little scared now. They're commenting on the Patriots' poor play in the second quarter, but the Patriots have come out fired up in the second half, making play after play, and now get the ball again and could regain this lead.
And Lynch are deep.
So look for a huge play coming up for either team. Something is going to happen, and I am calling it right now. Torrin Williams takes it at his own 32-yard line, and he's got blockers ahead. He runs up to the 45-yard line of the Mustangs. I'm telling you, something is going to happen that is going to change this game in just a matter of minutes.
Well, I'm just happy I'm able to watch this game. Getting in for free, getting to announce this game, nothing better than this. Just an outstanding game we are witnessing. I hope everyone gets to see this ball game.
Now, a person I feel bad for right now has to be Mr. Hookstreet, missing out on an absolute Wayne Hills classic. But who knows, maybe he's watching a classic over at Don Bosco Prep High School. And Monahan fakes the end around. He's going to go deep for Dallas Lynch. And he's got him at the 5-yard line. And once again, people call me up, 1-800-555-6829. I will be your psychic.
We seem to get everything right. We're a step ahead of everyone. Do we get to see this game before you guys? That was a heck of a call. Monahan held the ball at his side to make it look like he never had the football. Dropped back, was under pressure, delivered it to Dallas Lynch, who makes another great catch.
And just so you fans at home know, Scott and I are broadcasting this game live. This is not taped. We have not seen these plays before. We are just incredible broadcasters. So Monahan fakes the handoff. He's going to take it in for the touchdown. And he does! Touchdown, Patriots! And they have taken the lead, 22-21. And the Ramapo coaches are absolutely stunned. Look for Wayne Hills to go for 2 right now.
Boy, the crowd is getting psyched up. It is so loud right now. I can't even hear myself talking. Unbelievable. The Patriots are just making play after play, outstanding plays. Brendan Monahan's second rushing touchdown of the game. I don't know how many times he did that last year. I don't know if he didn't play much last year, but I don't know if he's used to running in for 2 touchdowns. Not the most mobile quarterback out there.
So backup tight end number 33, Scott Pospisil, coming in for goal line situations because they like to put Greg Olson in the backfield. Look for that right now, as once again I called it, they're going for 2.
Key matchup, John Rockford, Joe Nolan. Let's see if Nolan can push him away. Play action pass once again. Olsen's wide open. No, good coverage. It looked like he was open, but the ball wasn't thrown far enough into the corner of the end zone.
On that play, if I'm Brendan Monahan, I just throw it as high as possible. Greg Olson will come down with the ball. 6'6". He will make the catch if there's a jump ball. And Wayne Hills is pumped up, number 56, Mark Walhorski, pumping up the crowd. The Patriots have the lead, 22-21, with 3:37 and left to go in the third quarter. Last season, Scott and I did not call many close games except for that state championship thriller at Rampo. And unfortunately, Wayne Hills came up on the losing side of that. This is just outstanding game played by both teams. And the crowd is fired up like crazy. And there's Edwin Yu joining us in the booth right now. He will be going up and attending his camera duties.
Wow, it was a great drive by the Patriots. 2-play drive to score the touchdown. But that missed 2-point conversion can come back to haunt them. If they converted on that 2-pointer, they would be up by 3. Instead, they're only up by 1 point. So a field goal will give Mainland Regional the lead once again.
So like I said, there's going to be a big play to turn around the game, and turn around it did. Wayne Hills takes the lead 22-21 with 3:37 left to go in the third quarter. Just remember, a keynote right there, Wayne Hills was unsuccessful on their 2-point conversion. And the ball is dropped by Impagliazzo at the 30-yard line, but he's got a huge hole on the outside. Torrens, only one in front of him, and he takes him down at the Wayne Hills 38-yard line. And look how the momentum swings. The fans have gone quiet.
Big plays both ways. That just when you think one team's got the momentum, it goes right back to the other side. The kick was muffed. It was just terrible coverage. He was able to pick it up and still have enough time to get through a gaping hole, run down the sideline, and get the ball all the way up to the Patriots' 38-yard line.
And they go for the reverse right there, and Wayne Hills is not fooled as Chris Zambelli takes him down before he picks up a yard.
While both teams pulling out all the stops, trick play after trick play. I mean, these teams have been scouting each other. The Patriots have been looking at film. I'm sure Mainland Regional has been studying their film. And that is why they're just throwing out different plays to try to confuse each team. And at times it's worked, and at other times the opponent has been up for the task.
So right now I'm surprised that this is such a high-scoring game. These two teams have such outstanding defenses, yet this has been a high-powered, offense-filled game. And the handoff goes inside to Hargroves. He breaks a few tackles, shows his power and speed as he picks up the first down. And he's taken down by Chaz Lynn at the Wayne Hills 25-yard line.
Slips a tackle or two inside and moves the chains as the Mustangs trying to respond to this Patriots comeback and are going to have the ball inside the 20-yard line at the 17. Patriots defense has to step up and give up no more than a field goal on this drive.
Now, as Scott was talking about before, when Penn State played Iowa this afternoon, I'm a big Penn State fan. I happened to be watching that game. And when Penn State came back and tied the game, you'd have to think that Penn State's going to win the game. They have so much momentum on their side. And you see how quickly it turns. And Penn State wound up losing that game in overtime. So Wayne Hills has to watch out right now. They cannot be too happy with a 1-point lead. They got to open things up and not allow Mainland to score.
Well, I say they have to blitz some people. They need to get pressure on Capilouti. And if they run the ball, they got to keep their lanes, not give up that big run again. Each team has already used a timeout, so that could be key down the stretch of this ball game. Timeouts will be a factor.
So we're going to have an instant replay right now as there's the run back. Impagliazzo runs to the outside, and Torrin Williams takes him down at the Wayne Hills 38-yard line. Now, I said there was going to be a big play in a few moments, but which one was I talking about? I mean, this is just an outstanding game. Big plays all around. A little sloppy with a few turnovers, but in the second half, this has been a clean game with both teams playing their A game. And the throw is to Bradway, and he catches it at the Wayne Hills 12-yard line as it gets taken down by number 8, Dallas Lynch.
Terrific grab by the one receiver that Mainland Regional uses, Bradway. But again, I said they should have blitzed somebody. They rushed 4 guys. It allows Capilouti to sit back there and find his target.
First and 10 Mustangs.
So it'll be 1st and 10 on the Patriot 13-yard line with 1:54 and counting left to go in the third quarter. Wing formation for the Mustangs once again. Capilouti fakes. Oh, he hands it off inside again to Hargroves. The same play that broke it open for 90 yards.
Hargroves on the carry.
And they continue to try to pound it up the middle with Hargroves, hoping to break another big gain, but Mike Otterbein and Paul Ogden controlling the inside for the Patriots in the second half, allowing no big runs.
Now, last week against Northern Highlands, Brendan Monahan had some outstanding fakes as he found receivers wide open down the field, looking reminiscent of Capilouti right now. So a little trickery right there from the Mustangs. And the ball is handed off to number 11, Rob Weiss. First time he's touched the ball this evening. Picks up 6 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd and 3 from the Patriots' 5-yard line.
Well, even though Hargroves has not had much success in the second half, I think you got to give it to your star running back. Mainland Regional.
Mainland right now has the wrong personnel on the field. They might have to call a timeout, but they're going to let the quarter run down. That's why the coach was not worried right there. So when we come back to the fourth quarter, Mainland will be looking to take the lead. And remember what I said before, huge play, not getting that 2-point conversion. Mainland takes the lead with his field goal. If Main Hills converts on that 2-point conversion, it's a tie game at 24.
Well, we're going to see another possible score at the misspelled Hills end zone again. Every single point. Wayne Hills has scored all their points when they've gone on that side. And now, hopefully that changes because Mainland Regional is going to have that side of the field in the fourth quarter.
So Hills end zone coming up big in today's game, seeing a lot of action from both teams. So, Scott, what did you see in that third quarter that impressed you from both teams?
Patriots did not give up. They were down 14 points. It looked terrible, all the momentum on Mainland Regional side, but they never gave up, and they got the lead back. But then the Mustangs impressed me as well. They could have given up after giving up the lead, but they came right down the field, a huge kickoff return, and now are having a field goal attempt to take the lead.
Mustangs will attempt a field goal.
So Giuliano, the running back for the Mainland Mustangs, will be kicking. The kick is up, and it is through the uprights, and Mainland has a 24-22 lead. And now the Ramapo coaches have something to cheer about.
The score, the Mustangs.
That's okay, though, considering the field position the Mustangs had starting on the Patriots' 38-yard line to only get a field goal out of the drive. That was a successful defensive stand by the Wayne Hills Patriots.
So even though Scott thinks it's successful, I'm sure Coach Olson is not happy on the sidelines with his head down, knowing Wayne Hills needs to score by the rest of the game.
Well, it obviously isn't good to give up points, but considering how bad the field position the Patriots were giving up, you got to say only 3 points. You can't be too upset.
The momentum has completely shifted to the other side of the field as the Mainland fans are riled up right now.
Lynch and Williams deep to return.
So Lynch and Williams stand at their own 10-yard line. And the kick bounces to Torrin Williams, and he picks it up at the 15-yard line, looking for some running room, and he can't find it. He gets taken down by number 45, Doug Miller.
Well, this fourth quarter will really show how the Patriots are. Are they for real? It's a great team they're playing. They're down by 2 points. Can they step it up? Can they compete with those Ramapos, those Mustangs? This is a huge quarter to show they are for real.
So Wayne Hills does not want to be labeled with the overrated name. I formation for the Patriots, 2 wide receivers on the far side. Monahan back to pass. He's got Dallas in the slot, and Dallas gets taken down before he picks up a 15-yard gain by number 4, Chris Santinello.
What a difference a half can make. It looked like Dallas Lynch was going to be the go to this game, giving up 2 huge pass plays in the first half. But in the second half, he's made 3 key catches in this game and totally turned everything around for the Patriots.
So Wayne Hills has it at their own 40-yard line, looking to regain the momentum. Monahan hands it off to Torrin, and he is met by number 50, Larry Hudson. Just a huge hit right there from Hudson. I hope Torrin knows what grade he's in right now.
I'm hurting up here just hearing that. From the opposite side of the field, you could hear how big a hit that was. And Torrin Williams has to be shaken up.
2nd and 11.
So the Wayne Hills Patriots lose a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd and 11 at their own 40-yard line. Monahan back to pass, takes the blitz, finds Dallas Lynch on a curl play, and Dallas with a nice run picks up the first down. Last game against Northern Highlands, Dallas was rather quiet, only 1 catch for 13 yards. And there's a flag thrown on the play. I think it's going to go against the Mustangs, unnecessary roughness.
Well, there it is. From GOAT to hero is Dallas Lynch. You hear how people can go from hero to GOAT, but this is the other way around. How quickly things can turn around for a player.
So it's a face mask penalty, bring the Patriots 5 yards closer to the end zone, where they'll have it at the Mainland 40-yard line.
Looks like we don't need any interviews this game, as this is going down to the end. In most games we broadcast, it's a blowout by halftime, but this one is a great ball game.
I formation for Wayne Hills. 2 wide receivers on the far side. The handoff goes to Torrin Williams. He tries to turn the corner, but he is not able to do it as Matt Hagel takes him down for a 1-yard gain.
Brought down by Hagel.
Well, could this be the drive for the Patriots? John Elway orchestrated the drive for the Broncos. This could be the drive that turns the season around, keeps the Patriots undefeated, and gives the Mustangs their first loss of the season, eating up a lot of clock and moving the ball down the field.
So Joe Martorano has just informed us that number 65 is not in the game. Not sure what happened. We don't have a sideline reporter. Maybe he's has an injury or something. Monahan back the pass. Oh, and he overthrows Dallas Lynch. He had him wide open.
Pass intended for...
That one sailed on Monahan, one of the few missed passes he's had today. But I do recall Rockford going off the field after making a play earlier in the game. Not sure a win, but I remember him going off the field and maybe he never came back on the field. It's hard to miss a guy like that, but maybe he's been off the field for a long time.
Now, I'm not sure if there was someone just yelled out ankle sprain. I'm not sure if that was directed towards us or not, but we'll go with it right now as we'll say that John Rockford has an ankle sprain. Monahan back the pass. He's looking out of the pocket. He can't find anyone. He's going to throw it to Dallas Lynch, and it's caught for a first down on a huge third down conversion by Brendan Monahan.
Great play by Monahan to buy himself time, rolling to his right. But Dallas Lynch, what great hands. An unbelievable shoestring grab on a third down play. The Patriots have been struggling all day on third downs. Finally convert one here and keep the drive alive. Ready for in the second half, too.
So Dallas Lynch with 5 catches for 100 yards, and that all coming in the second half. What a great player. Dallas Lynch making his name right here at Patriot Stadium. Monahan's going to run a bootleg, and he cuts it through the hole, and he picks up a good chunk of yardage right now. It'll be 2nd and short for the Patriots.
What a great drive this has been for the Patriots. This is the drive that could maybe end it, could put them up, and put them up for good, hopefully. Monahan, a great play right there. That option run has been successful all day for the Patriots. And without Rockford in the middle, you have a lot of options you can use. Actually, Rockford is back in the ball game now. So that takes out that middle, gaping hole in the middle that they had.
So once again, another comment from our third member, Joe Martorano.
I don't know if you guys saw that last play, but 65 Rockford, he was coming in hard, and Nolan made a great block. If Nolan doesn't make that block, Monahan's sunken for a loss. Just want to say that.
So Joe Martorano picking up, we did not see that right there. Number 74, Joe Nolan, making up for the miscue earlier in the game and becoming the hero. As Scott said before, GOAT the hero. Joe Nolan pulls it off.
Great block he made, and it enables a big run for Monahan as it'll be 1st and 10 now from the 17-yard line, and a big play for the Patriots to keep moving the football.
The handoff goes inside to Torrin Williams, and he picks up about 2 yards on the play.
What a difference having Rockford is in there. They get nothing up the middle. Had Rockford not been in, maybe the play turns into a big gain, but at an enormous frame at 290 pounds, I believe it is, Rockford, just huge and tough to run up the middle against a guy like that.
Rockford on our sheet is listed at 6'3", 285, and he is a big 285. Monahan back the pass. He's got Adamo in the backfield, and not much of a pickup right there for about a yard.
Adamo has just stood up. What a big open field tackle by Matt Hagel. He's played terrific on defense. We have said his name on numerous occasions.
Hagel coming up big tonight for the Mainland Mustangs. We haven't heard much from John Rockford, but Brendan Monahan's going to call timeout right here. Rockford's been pretty quiet so far, so I assume Joe Nolan's been doing a fairly decent job.
Well, Rockford's made a couple plays here and there, but like I said in the beginning of this ball game, you're not going to stop Rockford, but you can possibly contain him. Like Olson's going to make his plays, Rockford will make his, but he has not made many, and that's a big key for the Patriots.
So Wayne Hills using their second timeout, only one remaining. That could be a huge, huge thing to keep in the back of our heads, Scott.
But it is a good time to call this timeout, though. It's 3rd and 5. You need to convert a first down. A field goal attempt is good because you can take the lead, but a touchdown is really what they want. And this is why you got to call timeout, get the right play on the field, and hopefully convert this 3rd and 5.
Special thanks to the baseball.
So number 29, Dave Adamo, has been taken out of the game. I don't know whether it's for injury or whatever it is. He was not too happy. He just threw a water bottle on the Mainland, on the Wayne Hills 40-yard line.
Well, they may have taken him out for mismatches, maybe get another receiver on the field, but it could have been an injury as well. I don't believe he's injured as he's standing up next to Coach Olson. I think he's just upset that he did not break Hagel's tackle.
Adamo, one of the team's captains, you know he wants to be on the field right now. I formation, 2 wide receivers on the near side. This could be the biggest play of the game. Monahan back to pass. He's going to find Dallas, and Dallas cannot catch the ball. And Wayne Hills will be forced to kick a field goal right now. And Wayne Hills has a very rough kicking game. They sorely miss Rick Pignatello.
Well, like I said, you can go from GOAT to hero. You can also make a bad play, but Dallas Lynch has played so great in the second half that you'll let that one go, because he might not have even gotten the first down had he caught the pass. But this is a huge field goal. This is really the biggest kick that we'll see for Adamo, maybe.
And the snap is good. Adamo, the kick is short, and Adamo cannot be pleased with himself right now. Mainland storms the field with 6:09 left to go in the 4th quarter. Joe Martirano telling us that's all right. Wayne Hills will come back and win this game. But I do not know right now. Once again, we reiterate, Wayne Hills has 1 timeout left. That could come back and haunt them right now.
That is what's really costly. They use a timeout to try to get that 3rd down play. They don't convert. They really needed to convert on 3rd down. Forced the kicking game that's questionable right now without Rick Pignatello. They've never really had to attempt too many field goals, and there's a big miss, and with only 1 timeout left, they have to stop this running game. They can't allow the Mustangs to pick up first downs and chew off the clock.
And Capilouti goes back in the pocket. He runs into Hargroves, and he's just going to throw it away. Wayne Hills looking for an intentional grounding call. They don't feel he got out of the tackle box.
Well, the Mustangs not looking to run the clock out. Halfway through this 4th quarter, they feel there's still too much time, and they're going for the kill, try to roll out pass, but nothing was there. Great pressure by the Patriots defense.
Now, speaking of kickers named Rick, last week, Rick Krautman from Ramapo set the state record for points. He is an outstanding kicker. I believe he just missed a 52-yarder in last year's state championship game that hit the uprights. It was just really close. We did that game. I don't know if you fans recall that game, but he is just an outstanding kicker. He's got some pro potential.
As the Patriots stop the Mustangs for a short gain, it's a big 3rd down play. Wayne Hills needs to get this ball back. To reiterate that great drive the Patriots had, 12 plays of over almost 6 minutes of controlling the clock, but they could not finish the drive. It would have been an outstanding one had they scored points, but they got nothing out of that great drive.
So a huge play right now for the Patriots. They have to stop them on this 3rd and 7. Capilouti's going to roll out, hoping to look for something that isn't there. Shalari can't bring him down. Chaz Lynn's waiting for him, and he takes him out of bounds. That'll stop the clock, and that's going to hurt the Mainland Mustangs. Huge play for the Patriots right there, stopping them. They'll force him to punt.
Great job of forcing the 3 and out, and the Patriots keep their gaps. That was terrific job by Wayne Hills staying in their lanes, especially Chaz Lynn, who makes another tackle. He's made several open field stops today. And now the Patriots will get the ball back with 5 minutes, 10 seconds. If they can control the clock like they did last drive, they could score with little to no time left.
As Joe Martorano just said, outstanding coverage down the field. He was forced to hold the ball and take it out of bounds. And it's a decent kick. Chaz Lynn will call for a fair catch right there. And Wayne Hills will take over from their own 44-yard line. Probably regretting the fair catch call. He had some room ahead of him. But I just like to say that last week when I was at the game, Wayne Hills was winning 14-0. Looked like they're going to pull away. They had this drive, 17 plays, 9 minutes and 29 seconds, and they didn't score. So that reminded me of that drive that the Wayne Hills just put together. You know, outstanding drives, and they just cannot capitalize on points, and it's killing them. Wayne Hills was fortunate enough to win that game last week, and Wayne Hills only scoring 27 points. It wasn't because they didn't have the offense that game. They did not punt once. It was that long drive that ate up a lot of clock, and that's why Wayne Hills only managed 27 points. Monahan back to pass. He finds, guess who? Dallas Lynch breaks the tackle, and he picks up the first down for the Patriots. Chris Santinello was faked out of his shoes on that play.
Well, Dallas Lynch has become Monahan's favorite target in the second half. We haven't really seen Greg Olson get any passes to him. So it's been all Dallas Lynch, but I expect on this drive Greg Olson to come up with a huge play. They got to go to Olson. He's their star player. He's got to get a big play in this closing out this fourth quarter.
So Monahan showing the chemistry he has with his receivers, making some great plays to Dallas Lynch and Greg Olson. Monahan's going to hand it off inside to Torrin Williams, and he will not pick up anything on the play. Doug Miller with the stop.
I think he'll go with a different approach. That up-the-gut running with Torrin Williams hasn't been working with them today. They got Rockford up the middle and that other big kid. I think he should go to the outside more, try to pass, especially to Lynch. He's been wide open the whole game.
The running game has not worked at all for the Patriots. All day long, they've not been able to get any running game going. Torrin Williams only has 47 yards rushing. 47, I repeat.
So right now, I just made a big play for the Wayne Hills TV program. Joe Martorano will be our permanent third man for the rest of today's game. Brendan Monahan back in the pocket. He has some running room, but he throws it, and it is almost intercepted. Extremely fortunate play right there. Matt Hagel had it in his hands, and that would have ended the game just about for the Patriots.
We talk about goat to hero, hero to goat. Hagel's been playing so great, and that would have just capped off a brilliant day. And Wayne Hills catches the biggest break they could ask for. This game probably would have been over had he intercepted that pass.
That pass was gift-wrapped to Mike Hagel. Now, if Brendan Monahan would have noticed he had some enormous lanes in front of him, he could have easily picked up the first down, and I believe that's what the coaches were yelling, for him to run the ball right there. So another huge play in this game, 3rd and 8 for the Patriots. Monahan's going to roll out of the pocket. He's got Adamo wide open. And I don't know what he was doing on the play. He had Dave Adamo wide open, but there's a flag thrown in the secondary. This could be against Mainland.
And you know Adamo wanted that ball so bad. But there is a penalty flag. I believe it's against Mainland Regional. Adamo, who got stood up on a pass on the last drive and missed a field goal, wanted to get a big 3rd down conversion, but Monahan never got him the football. And the penalty is against Mainland Regional, as they will move up the field, but automatic 1st down holding against the Mustangs.
So something Brendan Monahan has displayed for Wayne Hills last season and this season has been poised. He's losing it right now. Let's see if he can regain it and take the Patriots to the promised land, the end zone right here. 3:27 left to go in the 4th quarter. I formation for the Patriots, and the pitch goes outside to Torrin Williams, and he falls down again. Joe Martorano said it. Why are they running the ball? I have to agree with him right now. It has not been working all night long.
Torrin Williams is about 50 yards rushing all day. Remember the first telecast we gave you? Both him and Chaslin at over 100 yards. That offensive line that is relatively new, all new guys basically for the Patriots, having to go up against a real good defense this time and have not answered the challenge with the running game.
Let's go back to that two-point conversion. It is really biting Wayne Hills in the back right now. It would have been 24-24 had they converted. Monahan rolling out of the pocket. He's got some running room. This time he does hold it, and he runs with it, and he's going to be close to the first down marker before getting hit out of bounds by Chris Santinella.
Great decision by Monahan. Didn't force the ball this time. They have plenty of time left. Just need to pick up some yards. Great call. It was Rockford there, finally getting some pressure inside, but Monahan eluded him to the outside. Then number 50, Larry Hudson, was chasing after him, couldn't catch him, and now it's 3rd and a yard. This is probably 4-down territory if they don't get the first here.
If I'm Wayne Hills, you know what I do right now? I give a handoff to Greg Olson. They're not going to do it, but that's what I would do if I was Wayne Hills. He's 6'6", or just have a QB sneak with him, put him behind center. Get the ball in Greg's hands. The handoff goes inside the Torn, and he's going to pick up the first down and a little bit more.
Wow, Torrin Williams, not a very big kid. They run him up the middle with those big guys, Rockford and Malamute inside, but he gets the first down. Great push by the offensive line.
That shows how fearless Torrin is. He goes right at that gut. There's all those guys blitzing. He doesn't care. He just runs right through them.
So Wayne Hills picks up a big first down. It'll be at the 16-yard line of Mainland. 2:11 left to go in the fourth quarter. We are seeing an absolute classic right now. They run it up to middle with Torrin Williams again. Picks up a yard, possibly maybe 2.
Well, the Patriots ideally will let the clock go down as far as possible because they don't want to give too much time for this Mustang team. You saw the ability they have to break a big play, so even if the Patriots do score, you can't count the Mustangs out with that home run threat they have of Hargroves and Capaludi.
Dave has to regain his confidence right now. If it goes down to a field goal, he's got to be ready.
Joe just took the words out of my mouth. I was just about to say that. Dave Adamo needs to be on call. Monahan's got a sweep. He's got some room. Oh, and he gets taken down by number 8, Bill Kern. What a great open field tackle by number 8, Bill Kern.
Now, do you let the clock run down and play for the field goal or try to go for the touchdown? That's a dangerous decision right now. If you try to go for the touchdown, you risk turning the ball over or anything like that.
Scott, I'm going to call it right now. Touchdown, Greg Olson. I'm calling it. You heard it. It is going to be a touchdown to Greg Olson. Monahan hands it off inside to Torrin Williams, and he inches his way to close to the first down marker.
I agree with the call. I didn't expect them to pass in the situation. Let the clock run down. You play for the win right now. Don't let the Mustangs have any time left on the clock.
Up by Roachford.
It's close. It's 4th down. Do you kick the field goal or go for it?
2.
Call timeout.
Well, they might let the clock run down as far as it can and go for the game-winning field goal and let Adamo go from GOAT to hero, maybe.
They just blew 10 seconds there waiting for the timeout. I don't know what they were doing. Should have called timeout immediately.
I don't think it really matters, though, because they're going to go for the game-winning field goal, I believe, and try to let Adamo win this game and with as little time as possible left. Dave Adamo, big pressure, or do they go for it? Let's see.
This is the most exciting high school game I have ever seen. Last year, we witnessed some outstanding volleyball matches between Clifton and Wayne Hills. This outdoes it so much right here. Look at Wayne Hills. If you see Wayne Hills right now, there's Dan Shaleri's dad right there on the phone, talking to relatives. Everyone knows it's big right now. Wayne Hills players on this field kneeling down.
Everybody is standing up here in the stands. Biggest play you're going to see all year. It looks like they're going to try to kick the field goal. Let's see if Adamo can win it.
And the crowd is fired up. What a huge play. We cannot stress this enough. This is just an outstanding kick. All the pressure relying on Dave Adamo. The kick is up. And it is gone! He kicks it through the uprights, and Wayne Hills takes a 24 lead. It's snuck in there, and Wayne Hills is off the charts right now.
How relieved is Dave Adamo? Had he missed that field goal, his kicking season was probably be done. He would have no confidence for the rest of the year. And in the kicking game, confidence is everything. He went from hero to GOAT to hero again. That's been the story of the second half with players.
Get it together. We still got to kick
This reminds me of a call that I made during basketball season against Wayne Valley with time running down in the third quarter and Wayne Valley coming back. Dave Adamo with an outstanding three-pointer. I'm sorry, I mixed up the sports. Outstanding three-pointer to wind down the third quarter, and Wayne Hills went on to blow him open. So Dave Adamo, good, is something I've said previously.
Well, we do have some coaches from Wayne Hills up in the press box. We are having some coaches up in the press box saying, watch the trickery. You got to expect a trick play. You remember with the Buffalo Bills, they had that trick play pulled off against them with the Tennessee Titans, I believe. And you got to expect something with 9 seconds left.
So 9 seconds left. 25-24, Wayne Hills. An absolute classic here. And it's taken by Drew Smith. There's going to be offsides on the Patriots. It'll move him back 5 yards and force him to kick it over. And I'm losing my voice right now. Joe's going to have to take over.
Yeah, this is it, Mike. This is what you practice all year for. 6 seconds left. You just go down there, run your heart out. You hit the crap out of the other guy.
Well, you usually don't see an offsides call, but at this juncture of the game, it is so important that you have to call the offsides. There's nothing else you can do. You got to watch for every little detail. So the Patriots have to not make sure they don't jump off sides again because they're going to keep moving 5 yards back.
And, you know, Scott and I are talking about that momentum swing again. Look how much the momentum meant right there. Mainland had it the whole time, and Wayne Hills took that drive down the field, slowly gained momentum, and Dave Adamo knocked it through the uprights. So a short kick, it'll bounce. There's 6 seconds, 5, 4, and he almost breaks it open. Andrew Bucci makes the tackle. There's 3 seconds left to go, and Mainland has it at their 47-yard line.
A great call of the squib kick, but that is just terrible. They almost let him break it for a touchdown. How could you let them break it, as we are going to see a replay, I believe. Here's the field. Well, we missed the replay. You see that officials hold their hands in the air and the Patriots celebrating the game, what could be the game-winning field goal, but how do you let a long kickoff return like that get them all the way up to the 47-yard line? They are very fortunate. Bucci saved the day with that tackle.
Are they throwing it deep, Mike?
I think they're going to kneel it right here. Of course they're throwing deep, Joe.
The play I see him doing, because you're not going to be able to heave it 53 yards. There's no Chris Olsen throwing the football here. I see a hook and ladder maybe. Throw the ball down the middle of the field and lateral it back. Not a long pass play. Just get about 20 yards downfield and try a hook and ladder by lateraling it back to someone.
The best execution of the hook and ladder I've ever seen was the Giants last year against the Philadelphia Eagles when Ron Dixon rambled to the 4-yard line and the Giants fell just short of winning the NFC East.
As we just saw the game-winning field goal on replay, we got it that time. So it's not the game winner yet, though. 3 seconds left. Patriots have to hold for 3 more seconds. It'll seem like an eternity, though, right now. Only 3 seconds, but it's been a long time.
Now, we were going to have some sort of post-game. I will still try to bring that to you. Not sure who we're going to interview right now. So many players stepped up big for the Patriots. Monahan, huge interception. Dallas Lynch probably turned the game around. Greg Olsen, a few sacks and a catch. I mean, everyone just played great for the Patriots. They're going to triple team Greg Olsen. Capilouti is going to throw it as far as he can, and that is going to be batted down. And you know what? Wayne Hills has just won the game.
Knock it down. Just knock it down. No one tried to go for the interception. If you try to pick the pass off, it could tip up and be caught by a Mustang player. Instead, every Patriot just batted the ball down, and Wayne Hills has pulled off a dramatic victory. Dave Adamo, the hero, with a game-winning field goal. What a play by Adamo. And the Patriots win 25-24. With 9 seconds left, Adamo won the game. Unbelievable finish. You couldn't have asked for a better game. Mainland Regional came all the way down from past Atlantic City, all the way up to the north here at Wayne Hills, and it was an unbelievable game. I have pretty much lost my voice up here as the teams shake hands in sportsmanship. What a game. Credit Mainland Regional for such a great, hard-fought game. They scored 21 of their 24 points in the first quarter. They looked like they were going to win the game out 21-7 at halftime, but they refused to quit, did Wayne Hills. Mainland Regional went for the kill with a long pass play. Brendan Monahan intercepted it. Huge play. Patriots ended up scoring a touchdown. Then their defense set the tone once again, forcing a 3-and-out. There's a high snap on the punt, went out of the end zone, and the Patriots got a safety. That cut it to a 5-point game. Then Wayne Hills went right down the field once again, scored yet another touchdown. Monahan kept the ball and took it in for a second rushing touchdown of the game. They went up 22-21. They failed on the 2-point attempt to Greg Olson, who had a quiet second half offensively, but it didn't matter because Dallas Lynch stepped it up with 6 catches, I believe, in the second half and over 100 yards receiving. But even despite the Patriots taking a 22-21 lead, Mainland Regional Mustangs refused to quit, went right back down the field thanks to a long kickoff return that got it to the Patriots' 38-yard line. They ended up getting a field goal, which was huge by the Patriots defense to not allow a touchdown. They did not give up, gave up only a field goal, and that put the Mustangs up 24-22. And the Patriots had just a remarkable drive, 12 plays, took off at 6 minutes of the clock, but it came down to a field goal attempt by Dave Adamo, and it was well short. It looked like Adamo and the Patriots were going to lose by just a little bit, but the defense came up big once again. What a huge second half by the defense. They forced a 3-and-out from the Mustangs. They didn't even take a minute off the clock. And then the Patriots got the ball back and had another huge drive. This time they finished it off. Adamo had a chance to redeem himself. Got the field goal through the uprights with 9 seconds left. And despite a great effort on a long kickoff return by the Mustangs up to the 47-yard line, the last Hail Mary fell incomplete, and Wayne Hills goes to 3-0. Their by far hardest game of the season after 2 blowouts in the first 2 weeks of the year. The Patriots, huge plays all day long. Brendan Monahan, 11 of 16 passing, 172 yards. 1 touchdown throwing, 2 touchdowns running. Capitelli wins 7 of 10, 95 yards, 1 touchdown, but that one huge interception by Monahan. He also had a touchdown run. Dallas Lynch, the leading receiver for the Patriots, 6 catches for $115. Bucci added a 9-yard touchdown catch. Huge play. Bradway for the visiting Mustangs caught 4 passes for 94 yards and a touchdown. Torrin Williams, 20 carries, 65 yards. Pretty quiet day, but had a couple of nice runs to convert first downs. Hargroves, he had another big day for the Mustangs. 16 carries, 160 yards, averaging 10 yards per carry, plus a touchdown. But you take away 2 runs, an 89-yarder and a 39-yarder. He did pretty much nothing besides that, nothing at all in the second half. So the Patriots, dramatic victory. You can't ask for much more.
Scott, I think we're getting an interview.
We are looking for a post-game interview. Mike Rudner is about to get it as we will go down to Mike Rudner for an interview.
we have to finish in a.
It's all about
it's all about heart.
It's all about heart and guts. It's not about the X's and the O's and what's on chalkboard and what's up here. It's about what's in here. It's what's in your heart. And we took it. We got together and we pushed them down the field. That's all we did. It was all in the O-line.
Everyone came together, and it was a whole team effort. That's all I gotta say.
Now you had the tough stop. Had to stop Rockford at the goal line stand. Joe, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Dan could tell you more about that.
Well, goal line, we got in the huddle and said, they can't get another yard. This is make or break for us. Time was running out. We had to stop them. So we buckled down and we did.
Now, what was your philosophy in pushing Rockford? You both play on the offensive line. What did Coach tell you?
He's just another person. Hit him as hard as you can and you'll go down.
It's all what's in your heart. If you got a stronger heart than he is, you'll push him back and you will dominate him a whole game because it's all right. Pushing.
So thank you for joining us, Dan and Joe. Huge games as Wayne Hills wins 25-24, and that'll do it right now. I'm Mike Rudner, and joining me tonight was Scott Sanfilippo and Lou Germanario, and Wayne Hills wins 25-24.